Mike Tomlin wants to downplay his defensive guys publicly complaining about one of their teammates not caring enough, not being in position often enough, and getting beaten in coverage. Gee, wonder who they might have been referencing. Good morning to you. Good Tuesday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports, and this is Daily Shot of Steelers. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into hockey and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Penguins and Pirates in the same place that you found this. Steelers versus Bengals is a Saturday night game, 8 p.m., and if Tomlin sticks with the same secondary alignment that he used against the Chiefs, that means that Cam Sutton will be out there ahead of Beanie Bishop again. Wait, no. It means Sutton will be out there for 43 snaps to Bishop's 0. That was the count in the Kansas City game, as Sutton was used both as a nickel and a dime backer to very poor effect. Now, the coach is more than entitled to handle his locker room the way he sees fit. And according to both Tomlin and several players yesterday, there were 2 meetings, one the day after the Kansas City game and another yesterday morning, to try to sort out what Tomlin described as players bickering. Well, I often congratulate him on his marvelous use of the language, and I'm being completely serious when I say that, but bickering's just not the right word there. It just isn't. When you have all of the defensive guys who've spoken publicly on this issue agreeing that there's a problem with one player, that's not bickering. That's actually being very much of a single mind and voice. But whatever, because according to Patrick Queen, according to Alex Highsmith, according to everybody, everything was fine after these meetings. Everything's cool. It was just a case, according to all concerned, of guys being really passionate and frustrated with the 3 consecutive losses. Wonderful. Fine. I'll set it aside too. You know what I won't set aside? Having a lesser performer at a really important position on the defense, because that's what it looks like the Steelers have done. Bishop's not perfect. Undrafted free agent, had his own early season, you'll recall, communication issues, hasn't been super strong when it comes to man coverage, but when it came to the zone, you saw it. He was waiting when the ball arrived. 3 interceptions in his final 2 games before Sutton came back from his NFL suspension for assaulting his wife. So gradually, Bishop just got phased out, as I think I'm pretty sure we all knew that he would be. Tomlin and Sutton have a tight relationship, and that doesn't always influence his player moves, but it's been known to do that at times. Tomlin and really the Steelers organization, all the way up to Art Rooney, took a major, in my mind, unsightly risk in bringing Sutton back, knowing what they did and knowing what was on that police affidavit, and knowing that the NFL did its own investigation and saw fit to suspend him for 8 games. So there really wasn't any doubt after all that they were going to utilize Sutton. Well, unfortunately, they did so at the expense of a rookie who really genuinely was getting better with each passing week. You didn't hear about the communication issues after the first couple of games, did you? What you did see was him being around the football, making plays, adding energy, making what already had been a pretty neat secondary that much more dangerous. That plug got pulled, and it got pulled so that Sutton could get back on the field and literally stand still as Travis Kelce went around him for the easiest touchdown of his life, only to leave Queen completely in the lurch and having to run back late and make it appear as if that was supposed to be his guy, which it most definitely was not. So Queen gets mad, Queen pops off. Other players get mad, other players pop off. Other players notice little things like Sutton not wanting any part of going at a Kansas City player who was a little close to the sideline, hoping that he'd just kind of make his way there anyway. To which Corey Trice who might as well be a rookie. He's in his second year, but missed the whole first year with an injury. Trice stands there, hands on his hips, looking at Sutton like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But that's going to be Tomlin's choice. Again, you can set aside all of the drama, like I asked earlier. You can just swoop it right off your desk and look at this from nothing other than a football prism and ask yourself why you would prioritize putting Sutton out there over Bishop. And if the answer has anything with the coach wanting to show everybody that he was right, whether it was about bringing Sutton back or putting him out there in the first place or the way he's handled this whole locker room thing, then it won't be happening for the right reason. When we come back, J1Q. This segment of Daily Shot is brought to you by our good friends at Mike's Beer Bar. They're located on Federal Street, directly across from PNC Park. Mike has more than 500 beers on tap, including from more than 50 local breweries. Stop in and say hello. Tell Mike we sent you. Mike's Beer Bar. Today's J1Q comes from Andy, who says, DK, I have a question. Against the Chiefs on Christmas Day, at the end of the game, I saw Broderick Jones playing some left tackle. Could this be a change that the Steelers make for the final week? No, Andy. They've popped him over there occasionally from time to time, and that goes back to training camp. That goes back to even when Troy Fautanu was healthy and still in the mix. There's still nothing definitive about which tackle position Jones will play in the future. And, well, the reason for that, and if I sound like I'm hesitating before I say this, is because, I like this kid. I like what he's made of. I don't believe that he has any issues at all related to motivation or wanting to be good or wanting his team to win or anything like that. And I do feel like things of that nature are important and worth pointing out. That said, he has struggled, and he has struggled a lot, and he struggled again against Kansas City. And Dan Moore struggled at the other tackle position. And Fautanu obviously isn't even around, which means that even after investing 2 top 15 picks in the draft, the tackle position, there's very, very little certainty to be had there. And that hurts on so many levels. Because even beyond the obvious, you're basically operating without first-round picks for a couple years in a row. And first-round picks can be and usually are impact players for an NFL team right away. So one can only wonder what the Steelers might have been like if, say, they had drafted a wide receiver or even, I don't know, any other position, but somebody who has been on the field and who would have made a positive difference. And that hasn't happened here. Now, on top of that, Moore's going to be gone. Don't be losing any sleep over this in one direction or the other, depending on how you feel about Dan. He's going to be gone. His contract's up. The Steelers have these 2 guys that they invested a lot of capital in. And they're going to play them with, maybe some other veterans that they can bring in support roles. But Dan's going to be gone. And that's going to leave Fautanu and Jones for one side or the other, which brings me back to your question. Which side? Well, football logic has forever dictated that you want to protect the quarterback's blind side. So you would want your better tackle, your more reliable tackle, to be on the left side. Jones hasn't been that, and Fautanu hasn't been on a field long enough to know what he can do. It was promising, but then so was Jones's entire first rookie year. Do you also possibly make changes at the coaching level with Pat Meyer, because he's not gotten good results out of really anybody other than Zach Frazier, at least as far as the younger guys go, to be fair? Who knows? But no, to answer your actual question, you're not going to see Moore and Jones switch sides or anything crazy like that. Not at this late juncture. They're messed up enough as it is. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody who listens to Daily Shot of Steelers. I want to wish everybody a happy new year. I'm in Detroit covering hockey. When I get home, I'm going to take a little bit of time off, and then this program will return Thursday morning.